Hello. Good morning, everyone. I hope you are able to hear my voice. Can you just chat if you are able to hear my voice? So I can know. Okay, good then. All good. So today's session will be an important tool called NMAP tool. NMAP is also called as Network Mapper tool. That is the full form of NMAP. And this was created by Mr. Gordon Fyodor Leon. So he is the person who has created it, and he has also written a very good book about NMAP called NMAP Network Scanning. If you properly search Google, you will get a PDF copy of this, I hope. And it's a really good book for anyone who want to build a career as a penetration tester to read at least once or twice, in my opinion. Okay, so NMAP is free, and it is a open source utility for network discovery and security auditing. He once he created this NMAP tool, he gave it to other developers to develop it further. Mostly these people are again security engineers or cyber security or researchers mostly. So they made sure that this tool is you know available to everyone, open source, and you can download this. Today, this tool is available in Windows version, Linux, and Macintosh. You can download this tool from nmap.org/download or Google it. You will go to the website. It doesn't occupy much space in your hard disk, or if you are already familiar with Kali Linux operating system, so this comes pre-installed in Kali Linux operating system. You don't need to install it specially in Kali Linux operating system. So what exactly is this NMAP tool in the context of the cycle of ethical hacking? The first phase usually of ethical hacking would be information gathering, and then following the information gathering you will have to verify whether whatever information you have captured is correct or not. So this you can do it using different tools, and the process itself is called as footprinting and recon tool. And NMAP is very much used there in every penetration testing. So how does NMAP look like, and where what exactly are the uses of NMAP? Now on your screen you see just a screenshot of an output from NMAP. And what is NMAP used for? NMAP is used for host discovery. So here you can find a list of targets. Let's say you know that there is one network which has an IP address 192.168.1.10. You are not sure in that network how many machines are currently active and running. So you just need to use NMAP tool to scan all the machines in that IP subnet. So this will be very useful for a network engineer or a system administrator to know which machines are active at any point of time. So it is can be used for network discovery or network device discovery. So you can know scan the ports of a device or an IP address, and depending upon the output you can guess whether it is a router or it is a switch or is it a Windows machine or some other operating system machine. So you can also take the help of NMAP to detect the operating system which is running on the device as well. That is really good. Plus you can scan the ports obviously. So NMAP by default, which we will do today, scans in a default scan nearly 1000 well-known ports. 1000 well-known ports it will scan. Well-known ports are open ports. And then it is also try to discover the protocols which are associated with that port which is open, plus the state of the port, whether the port is closed, open, or it is filtered. If it is filtered, then we know that we are dealing with a firewall. Alright, so this is all the information which whoever is using this tool will be able to gather. Let's see the output and try to understand this one briefly. Although we are going to do in-depth analysis of this output, first NMAP, directly straightforward. NMAP you can type if you are in a Kali Linux machine, and this is your target IP address. So 192.168.1.1, the IP address. This is the LAN IP address which I have typed here. Pretty well you can type any IP address, whether it will be a public or private, provided you have a permission to scan that IP address. So it will be illegal for you to scan any IP address without the prior permission of the owner of that IP address or the device. Alright. So unless and until you are part of an organization in a team called as a red team, there will be a team called red team who are authorized to do this penetration testing, but for their own organization. If you are doing it for an outside organization as a penetration tester, then you should have a written permission as a scope. There will be a scope which they will be giving it to you, a range of IP addresses which you are allowed to scan. Other than that, you cannot scan any machine IP address for port scanning or anything like that, because it will be illegal to do that. Now let's keep those things aside and see. After IP address we have different options here, hyphen capital O and small s and v hyphen t4. So what are these things? So we will get to these options later on. Now starting NMAP here, this is the 7.8 current version which I have used for this output. It's a recent output here. So this is the scan report for this target, and it basically does a host is up, received a ARP response. So here remember, usually when we do a ping scan we use ICMP as a protocol. So sometimes the host based firewall or the target, if there is a firewall on the target, then it may filter our ICMP traffic. So NMAP, to avoid that, it uses a protocol which cannot be filtered. It is necessary protocol, that is a ARP response. So NMAP uses ARP to find out if a host is up or not. Very simple and very smart. So once the host is up, then it is going to send the rest of the things, rest of the probes, okay, to verify which ports are open. So as I told you, NMAP is going to scan 1000 ports by default. Now in this output, it has seen that 993 ports are closed ports because it did not get any response from the target on those ports. Rest of the ports, the 7 ports here, are put in a neat table. So the first column is port followed by the port numbers you can see here, and it is also able to identify whether it is a TCP port or a UDP port. Now second column gives an information about the status of the port, which is basically a TCP session status. It's filtered, or is it open, or well, if it is filtered, that means we are dealing with some firewall which is not giving a proper response. Usually if a port is closed, you will get a response like a reset acknowledgement from the other side. Any machine, if a port is closed, the machine will give a response back, a reset acknowledgement that the port is closed. But here when you are not getting any response, so you pretty well know that this all the 993 you see here resets because it got a response from the other side that the ports are not open. So here 21, 22, 23 we are not sure because they are filtered. That means maybe there is a firewall which is not allowing any response. Now 53, 80 and 443, these are the only three ports which are open. And what is 53? It's a default port for DNS service. So domain name service, and port 80 is for HTTP, and you also have 443 for SSL or HTTPS. Now this is the third column which will tell about the service which will be open service which will be running on those ports. Now here why did we get this output? So if we see here, we have the small s means we are performing a SYN scan, a TCP SYN scan, and then the capital V is for a reason again here. Now once it will do the scanning on the service, NMAP can also tell us which type of a daemon, which type of a process is running on that service. That is, if you remember the OSA model, the 7, 6 and 5, these are application layer. These three are application layer in TCP IP stack. So there will be some process which will be running, which will be picking up the TCP data. So this capital V is basically going to give us the version, okay, of the service. So here in this case, Zyxel virtual web HTTP daemon 0.9. This is a gold information for any ethical hacker or a security engineer. Why? Because once you know the version which software is running on this, you can go ahead and try to find out if there are any known vulnerabilities in a CVE MITRE website. So CVE, common vulnerability exploits website, if you go and search for this software, then maybe you will be able to find, or maybe if you are lucky enough, it may even be available on existing exploits of Metasploit. You can use it at this point. Alright, next. So that's pretty much this one, plus the fourth column here, there is a reason column. The reason is because you gave this option called -- reason. So how did NMAP assume that these ports are open? Because it got a response from that port, from that service, that is SYN-ACK. If you know the TCP three-way SYN-ACK and ACK process, then this is the reason why it is. Alright. Next, one service unrecognized despite returning data. If you know the service or version, possibly you can decipher it yourself here. So my guess is this is talking about the port 53. That is the reason there is a question mark here on the domain name. So I am sure that this one is a GNS service which is running on this device. And what is this device? This device could possibly be, here it is guessing that it could be a switch. It could be a switch, and it also gave us the MAC address, and it is not able to identify the vendor of that device. And then if you look at this -O option on the top here, now this option is usually used to detect the operating system. So here you can see OS details, Allied Telesin 80 or D-Link, or so NMAP, what it does is it sends a specially crafted IP packets to the target device, and based on the response, it compares the signature of the response to its own database, and then whatever matches are there, that is going to be a guess of operating system here. So basically it is going to guess, it is not telling you for sure that this is the operating system. This is just saying that it could be one of these operating systems. So further confirmations are needed, further tests are needed on this one. Alright, so this is what a NMAP can do. So all the points which I have mentioned here, that is host discovery, network device discovery, port scanning, protocol discovery, firewall filters, service detection, and operating system detection as well. So any questions so far, anyone? You can just type in the chat box. All right, I assume there are none. So how does NMAP exactly work? So what's going on behind the NMAP? And there are some more questions here. What it can do? What else it can do? Alright, so NMAP uses raw IP packets which are specially crafted and tweaked to identify these ports and services. It's not like generic a TCP SYN packet I am going to send, and then based on the CTP, I mean like SYNAC, I am going to tell whether it is open or not. Well, that is one way, that is a straightforward thing to do, where you are trying to establish a full connection. Now sometimes we will have to evade firewalls or intrusion detection systems or any IPS kind of a device which is sitting between the penetration testing machine and the target machine. To evade these things, so NMAP will have options, or it has options of stealth scanning. Stealth scanning is it does not go with the normal approach of sending a SYN packet or anything like that. So it's going to tweak the packets and try to identify which service are running. Maybe there is one more bouncing attack, FTP bounce attack, where the actual target will be some other machine, and it is going to use the machine which is sitting in between. So you are going to send some packet to one machine, and then he is going to send it to the target machine, and then based on the response we will be able to guess what services are running on the target machine. So you need a lot of skills to actually and practice a lot. The more you practice with these options, the more better you will get with the NMAP. It's not like just one command you will have to learn and then your career is made. No, absolutely no. So here people have designed NMAP in such a way that they have developed a language called LUA language, or LUA is a scripting language which was specially developed for NMAP to automate the tasks as well. Automation of tasks we can do. Plus NMAP is considered very chatty and noisy if you do not know how to use it. That means the moment you start NMAP, if there is a firewall, immediately firewall will understand that someone is actually scanning the IP, and it may blacklist the IP address from where the IP is coming. Although there are options which you can change the source IP address to spoof, that could be used. Yeah. So the real skill of using NMAP is to do scanning anonymously, which needs a lot of practice and understanding of the options which are available on the NMAP. Alright, now is it legal to use NMAP? So as I said earlier, scanning devices without a written consent of the device owner is absolutely illegal in India or even in Europe. To practice, we must use our own devices. So if you are a student learning this NMAP first time, you have a network knowledge, you should do this on your own machine. Maybe your own home router is there, you can use it as a target and you can try to scan it. And it is said that NMAP may crash the target devices for certain scans, but it is not proven officially yet that NMAP can actually the scans of the NMAP can actually crash a computer. It's not yet proven. So there is a website called as scanme.nmap.org on the internet. So if you want to scan a real target on the internet, so there is one website, scanme.nmap.org. This is maintained by the creator of NMAP, where he is allowing someone to go ahead and scan. No worries, I am going to not put a case on you. That's what the website is for. So how would you know which version of NMAP is available if you are using a Kali Linux box? And if you want to upgrade to the current version, how would you do that directly from the Kali Linux? So there is a command called nmap -- version. So there you can know the nmap version which you are using and match it with the current one. Alright, and there are many commands which we will do today to know or use nmap. Let's do the practical now. So I have my Kali Linux open here. I'll open a new tab because I want to explain you this current output which I have done recently later. So first command nmap space -- version. So here you will know which version of nmap you are using. If you want to upgrade, apt-get nmap install. If you do not have nmap, if you are getting an error message that a command is not recognized or whatever it is by the shell, then you can go ahead and give this command to install nmap yourself. So because I already installed, I will not do this. And let me clear this up. If you want to see all the available options in nmap, and most of the time this is well documented, but yeah, nmap space -- help is your command to check out all the options of nmap. Now we have to thank the guys who have done this documentation, because mostly they will scrutinize whether it is working, the option is working or not, a number of times before they put it here. So there are different sections for the help here. You can see the first one is basically the usage of nmap followed by the scan types, and then target specification section. You can see you can give a target as IP address or IP addresses, host name, networks. So you can see host name, you can give this domain, or you can scan the entire network by giving a domain name /24, which is the CADR value, and yeah, 192.168.0.1 individual IP addresses, or you can give a range of IP addresses like this. And not only that, if you do not have a specific IP address, just you got about 10 to 15 IP addresses you want to scan in your network, you can put them in a list. And you can give that list as an input to nmap, so it can scan it for you. So we are going to look at it. Plus, if you are not sure what do you want to scan, you just randomly you want to scan any IP address, and this is your option here, small I -r. Or if your list is you want to exclude certain IPs from your list, you can use this exclude, or you can put everything in the exclude file and you can give it as. So let's start doing this target specification in today's session. So I'll clear this up. Okay, so the first command in target specification. So here I am only section I am going to do today is target specification. The next session we will be doing SYN scanning, host discovery, port specification, and even NSA scripts also. Alright, so let's start. Nmap space followed by IP address. 192.168.1.1 is my IP address. press enter. Now here the target IP address 192.168.1.1 is a machine in my own network LAN, and I'm not using Wi-Fi. I'm wired to that device, so that is the reason I got an output in about 2.82 seconds, but it may take a while for you to get an output depending upon where your target is, it's LAN or WAN, and how busy your network is. So you can see here the expected output, the ports which are shown as closed. You know why they are being showing closed? Because NMAP might have sent a SYN message and it might have got a reset acknowledgement for these ports. That is the reason these are considered as closed ports. And then the other ports 53, 80, 443 and this one are filtered. Now you are not getting many details as we saw in our presentation previously, because we are not using any options at all here. This is just a default NMAP scan. Now you can even go and do the scanning a little faster by using an option called -F here and the target 192.168.1.1. Not much of a difference here, just a second of a difference you can see here if I am using -F command here. Alright, now let me clear it up. So NMAP -F followed by, if I would like to see what is NMAP doing behind the screen, like a debug message or something like that, so I can use here small v, which is for verbose mode. The more v's you put, the more output it is going to give us, the more details it is going to show us about what is going on behind the scan. So see here, we get all these details here, what it has done in the backend. This one. Okay, all right. Now you can also see here there is a difference why F is not scanning all the ports, right? We can see here it just scanned 100 ports instead of 1,000 ports. That is the reason the scan was really fast. Let's say you already know that your target is not having so many services running. Well, you can go for -F. It will only scan for 100 ports instead of 1,000 ports which are for default scan. Alright, now I hope you have understood this verbose -V. You can even go a little further and try out -V as well, which would give you much more details. So you can see 100 ports it has scanned. This is for -F. Alright, is it possible for us to use NMAP to scan two IPs? Let's see. So 192.168.1.1 and then followed by another IP address. I can give 192.168.1. Let's say 6. 1.6. Let me see. So it says, yeah, only one IP is up, one host is up here, and then I guess 1.6 is not available. Alright, so that you can do, or you can give a range here from 1 to 10 IPs you can scan. It would take some amount of time because the number of iterations it has to run will be 10 times more than that. So you got an output in 13 seconds here, and then it gave us a lot of information about all the other machines. So you can see here 1.1 we already know, and it says 1.3 a host is up, 1.4, 1.5. So now you can see the difference here. This output is not available for these devices because maybe these ports are all filtered. Alright, here you can see all 100 scanned ports on 192.168.1.3 are closed. It says closed, that's it. Maybe it is not running any ports. So 1.7 we have it here. Now you can see 99 closed, that means some port is open. So 8009 TCP port is open, and some service is running on this one. And it has also found out the MAC address, and we know the device here. This is Amazon device which I am using in my home. And then there is some 1.8 Windows machine. How do I know it is Windows machine? You can see blaring Microsoft DS. So yeah, this is the classic NetBIOS SSN running on this. Or NMAP target specification, we will use -F again, but this time I will say if I want to scan the whole network, /24 is also valid. Now this is going to take a lot of time. 1.1 to 1.254 it is going to scan the whole network. The whole network it is going to scan, and it is going to give a report here. So 15 seconds. Again similar report, because I don't have many IPs going on, except I got a new one which is 21 and 13. Earlier I did not see them because they were less than 10. You can even scan a domain name, not only IP. So scan me.nmap.org. I should have used -F, but let's see. And I did not even use verbose. Okay. Now, looking at the output, the first thing NMAP did is resolve the IP address. That means it might have done a DNS query to my DNS server, local or ISP. So this is the public IP address of this website, and not showing 284 closed ports, but the other ports, 16 ports, it is showing here open, filtered, and the service which is running on them here. Okay, now don't try it, as I told you, on any other domain name. It will be illegal. Now, can we give a list of IPs and tell NMAP to scan? So I already have prepared a list thing. So yeah, targets.txt. So here you can see there is a list. I'll change this. Wait 1 second. Let me exit and for this I'm going to prepare a new list here. I don't want to ruin the other things which I was using. So it's a targets.1.txt. I just give IP address 192.168.1.1. I'll say 192.168.1.5, 192.168.1.13, 1.6. Yeah, I'll save this file. Okay, and clear it up. Now nmap -il, here I need to give the target 1.txt and press enter. Now here, if you want, you can give other options as well, like -f or -verbose. Okay, the verbose, we are able to see the output. So it has done all the scanning and it gave you the relevant output. So we got 1.1 as usual, this thing. Let's say I want to avoid 1.1 except 1.1 if I want to scan. How do I do that? Here, the same output. How do I exclude a particular IP address? So for this I will use hyphen hyphen exclude. Simple options. NMAP is beauty. There you go. Except that IP address, we are able to scan everything else. Okay. So NMAP also has a random option here. What is random? Let's say I want to scan any random IP address, which could be a public IP address or anything, I don't know. I'm just going wild here. Let's say, so nmap space hyphen r30 hyphen vv. So this would scan any random IP address on the internet. It will calculate some random IP address and then it is going to calculate. So maybe it is going to hit some IPs and it is going to scan the IP. So I got a hit here. This would be okay. So here you can see 176, 153, 188, some Swiss based URL here, so Switzerland URL. Alright, so you can try this if you want to, but I don't recommend this though. But yeah, I just wanted to tell you about this particular option called nmap space hyphen I and capital R30 VV. So all good. So this is for first part of our nmap session. Tomorrow at the same time we will connect again and practice this in Kali Linux. Whatever target specifications are there, understand the nmap tool. So tomorrow's class same time we are going to do a section on scan, like a TCP SYN scan, TCP connect scan, TCP fin scan, and not only that, tomorrow's class we are going to analyze these scans. So how is nmap able to do all these things? We are going to capture them using Wireshark and analyze the deep packets, analyze the packets deep, looking at the headers and all that stuff. Alright, so until then, thank you very much for joining in everyone. So see you tomorrow. Thank you.